You are 500 meters down. No light, nothing, not a single photon. The darkness is absolute. Outside, the pressure is 50 atmospheres, enough to crush a truck like a soda can. You are the commander of a nuclear submarine, a 10,000-ton war machine. You are an apex predator, but you are completely blind. And yet, you can see. You can see a cargo ship 100 kilometers away. You can see an underwater mountain, just in time to dodge it. And you can hear the heartbeat of your enemy. How? On the surface, war is fought with eyes and with radar. Radio waves sweeping the horizon, but those waves die instantly the moment they touch the water. Light is extinguished completely at 200 meters. In the abyss, radar is useless. Satellites can't see you. GPS doesn't work. You are alone, in the dark. But there is a force, just one, that travels farther and faster in water than in air. Sound. To see in total darkness, you must use sound. This is sonar. But here's the deadly trap. Using your eyes on the surface is free. Using your ears underwater might be the last thing you ever do. Submarine warfare is the history of blindness. The first U-boats of World War I were barely submersibles. They attacked at night on the surface. Their only way to see was a man with binoculars, hanging halfway out of a hatch. Then came the periscope, an eye on a stick. But to use it, you had to rise. You had to expose yourself. You were a sitting duck, waiting for a destroyer to take the shot. The Titanic disaster in 1912 sparked an idea. Could we use an echo to detect icebergs? The concept was simple. Send out a sound and listen for the bounce. War turned that idea into a weapon. They called it ASDIC, and later, sonar. But this new weapon came with a fundamental flaw, a problem that defines submarine warfare to this day. The obvious solution is active sonar. It's the sound we all recognize, the ping from the movies. The submarine charges its massive capacitors and unleashes a deafening pulse of sound, an acoustic shockwave, hundreds of decibels strong. Ping! That wave travels for kilometers. It hits an object, an enemy sub, a whale, the ocean floor, and the echo bounces back. The computer measures the time it took for that echo to return, and on the screen, a dot appears. Target, 10 kilometers, bearing 090. You have found the enemy, but you just made the biggest mistake of your life. That ping is a scream in a silent library. It's like turning on a flashlight in a room full of snipers. You just told everyone in the ocean exactly who you are and exactly where you are. The enemy submarine, which was running silent, has now heard you. The destroyer on the surface has now heard you. The torpedo waiting in the water now has your address. Active sonar is an act of desperation. It is the weapon you only use when you are already in a knife fight. So, how do you hunt? How do you find the enemy without screaming your position? True submarine warfare isn't a battle of pings. It is a battle of silence. And the true weapon is passive sonar. Here, you make no noise, ever. The submarine becomes a giant ear. You shut down everything non-essential. The crew walks in rubber-soled shoes. Tools are secured so they don't drop. The reactor is designed for near-perfect silence. Silence is your camouflage. Your only weapon are the hydrophones. Incredibly sensitive microphones, millions of dollars in piezoelectric ceramics, mounted all over the hull. The centerpiece is the sphere. The bow of a modern submarine isn't solid steel. It's a giant dome, housing a spherical array of thousands of hydrophones. It is a room-sized ear, pointing in every direction. And what does it hear? It hears everything. It hears the noise of waves, breaking 10 kilometers away. It hears the high-pitched whine of an enemy nuclear turbine at 50 kilometers. It hears the exact number of blades on a cargo ship's propeller and the vibration of its engine. The sonar operator isn't just a technician, he is a musician. He doesn't see a target, he hears an acoustic signature. His brain, trained for years, filters out the noise of the ocean, and suddenly isolates a sound that shouldn't be there. Contact bearing 180, classified as a kilo class, Russian. He is loading his torpedo tubes. All of this without making a single sound. But the submarine has a blind spot. The noise of its own propeller and the flow of water over the hull create a cone of silence directly behind it. The baffles, the submarine, cannot hear what is directly on its tail. For decades, this was the Achilles heel. An enemy could slowly slip into your wake and be invisible. The solution, the tail, the towed array. The submarine deploys a cable, more than 1.5 kilometers long. At the end of that cable is another string of ultra-sensitive hydrophones. The submarine, literally, tows its own ear, far away from its engine noise, right into the middle of its blind spot. Now, the sub listens in 360 degrees. It is a predator with ears in the back of its head. And here's the true revelation. The ocean is not empty space. It is an acoustic hell. Sound does not travel in a straight line. Layers of cold water, layers of warm water, and different salinity levels bend and refract sound. They create acoustic ducts where sound travels thousands of kilometers, and shadow zones where a submarine can disappear completely. The true art of sonar warfare isn't having the best gear. It is understanding the ocean. It is using the physics of water as camouflage. It is hiding beneath a thermal layer, where the enemy's ping simply bounces right over you. You don't see with sonar. You think, you predict, and above all, you listen. So how does a submarine see in total darkness? It doesn't. It listens. It moves from the active ping, a desperate scream, to passive silence, to a network of hydrophones so sensitive it can hear the heartbeat of its enemy through kilometers of water. Submarine warfare is the purest form of hunting, a duel of engineering, patience, and physics. A battle fought in absolute silence, where the first one to make a sound loses. But now, with the arrival of artificial intelligence and underwater drones, do you think this era of the silent hunter is coming to an end? Or will the ocean remain the last true bastion of stealth? Let me know your expert opinion down in the comments.